All right. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to be taking a look at some of the deciding matches in Group C from HomeStory Cup. Starting off, we've got Clem in the top left side of the map, obviously the favorite for the entire group. But eyes are on him because he's playing Reynor, one of the players that people think has the best chance of taking a series off him. It's only a best of 3. It is the group stage, and Reynor's going to start here with a 15-15. But he's not... Oh, it's a 15 proxy hatchery. Hello. Oh, it's a one base Ravager proxy. One base Ravager proxy. Guys, this is like... Do you guys remember the old everything on 14 build? He's doing a variation of that. This is a proxy Ravager all in. This can work really well if Clem doesn't scout. Clem has been SCV scouting a lot recently against Serral. I imagine he will scout with his Barracks SCV against Reynor as well. Spawning pool, and then you want to build one more drone and then build 2 gas, and then build a gas and then a drone and then a gas. So there we go. Everything on 14. Wait, why is he going Overlord? Oh no, you're not meant to build an Overlord. Reynor has never done this build before. You're meant to go pool gas, then Overlord. Oh, Reynor. Reynor doesn't know the build. Yeah, Reynor doesn't know the build. Or he's just doing a build that's totally different, but this is way less efficient, I think. Okay, they've done a bit of a pause there. There were lag issues at this tournament. Reynor is complimenting how long his hair is. Should I go bold, says Clem. Reynor says, if you do it, I do it type shit. No, you're going to make me bug again. Okay, all right. I don't know what the hell was going on there, but Proxy Hatch is coming down. Guys, this is bizarre. This is like a macro Proxy Ravager. I guess he's just going to build a few Ravagers. I thought he was going to do double gas on one, but wait, now he's taking a second gas? No, this is poorly timed. I don't like this build from Reynor. I think you can hit this build way faster. Bly would have something to say about this build. Bly used to ruin Clem with an everything on 14 supply build. Clem comes in, drops the question mark, seeing no expand, sees the hatchery, and he will also see the roach warren. I forgot to expand, says Reynor. Reynor and Clem having a bit of banter here as they start out. Honestly, this is so late. This gives him so much time to build bunkers and stuff. Building a bunker on the natural is crazy greedy. There is no reason to do that. He's going to try and let his command center finish, which is also super greedy. You do not need a command center against this. One base versus one base Terran is miles ahead, but the roaches have just started, so he knows he's got time to spare. And I personally... Oh, the Reap! The SCV... Oh, sorry, it was SCV, not the Reap. SCV goes down to the Queen, which is good, because it means you can expand behind this, but... I don't know, man. This just feels like it should be so easy for like a Cyclone into Siege Tank to defend with Marines on that high ground. He's going to go Reactor, which I'm a bit surprised by. I thought he'd just keep building Marines one at a time. And those Roaches are coming forward. Command Center. He's going to morph an Orbital and then lift it back to the high ground. Clem's in an amazing position against this. I'm going to have to go benchmark after this game. I might take a break from casting after this game, win or lose, to check how much faster I can hit with 14, everything on 14. Because I think everything on 14, I think you can hit about 250, 245. So this is about 20 seconds later. Does give Clem time to finish the command center, get everything going. No Zerglings early. Oh, a pause there. Clem loses 2 SCVs. Oh my god, the bile is landing. Clem even said, because they had the big lag, he loses 2 SCVs due to the lag. Oh my lord. Obviously not ideal. This is a very rare circumstance, a big tournament like this, having such continual internet issues. Really hard to deal with. Even if you have backup connections, sometimes your country's internet infrastructure, like I've had this happen a month ago where both internet connections were on the same kind of infrastructure, and it was the infrastructure in between multiple providers that was having issues. So both of my connections were going down. Ravager does start getting picked off. 2 depots and a reactor. That's why you don't go reactor, by the way, because I feel like you might as well just build Marines one at a time. He's going to go down and just fight this. He's going to fight this. Reynor's droned up and tried to go more Ravagers behind it. Oh, 2 Ravagers already going down. Great move there. The Queen unable to transfuse. Now with this, you normally want to spread creep back from here and try to connect the tips as a sort of alternate win condition, guys. If you connect creep from their side of the map with creep from your side, do you get the victory screen? No, but in my eyes, you do win the game, and that's what really matters. Oh, good pullback on the Ravager to break the lock on. He's trying to make Ling speed. He's going to try and follow up with a Ravager Ling all in. More Cyclones building for Clem. Clem, the ballsy kid that he is going to push out and try to just fight this head on. Roaches and Ravagers trying to fight. Cyclone manually. No, it locks onto a Roach. I thought he was going to lock onto a Ravager. Good. He does get another pause. Oh, no. Roaches and Ravagers struggling here to get more damage. So the power of this build, it seems like, from Reynor is really the follow-up all in. Because he's just going to be injecting. He's going to get his second hatchery up. He's going to have this one here, which he could also inject with that Queen if he wants to. Transfuse. Oh, he transfuses this one, but that means he loses the other one. Oh, that Ravager barely surviving Now, obviously, Queen's Ravagers will regen over time. He still had a bit of the heal over time on that Ravager as well, which is what kept it alive there. But more Roachling coming in. There is a tank on the high ground, and he's not sold his bunkers. So Clem can always just grab the SCVs, lift the command center, and if he gets a tank on the high ground, you don't want to put it on the very edge usually because there could be an Overlord. Where's the Overlord? Guys, did he lose his Overlord? Oh, he lost his Overlord. He doesn't have any Overlords on this side of the map. He needs to build an Overlord on the front. Otherwise, the tank on the high ground will not be snipeable. Clem's going to siege it on the natural, the Mad Dog. Clem not respecting this all-in follow-up. Ravager's coming forward. Going to be annoying with the Biles, but look at that. He gets one. Gets a Ravager. Really big snipe there. He wants to bait these out. He wants to bait them out. Another pause on pause. Lynx go in for the surround. Cyclone's taking big damage. And Clem is just going to GG. Reynor, sorry, is just going to GG there. Not finding enough damage early on. So let's benchmark this build, guys. So in terms of the build order, I just want to double check first of all. With that Overlord going down, so he goes Extractor Trick to get one more drone out, which I like. But then yeah, and I guess he just wants to drone a bit harder. So, okay, because he's not taking the gases as early, it does make sense to build the Overlord. I mean, this build makes sense. So it's purely just a less committed version to the one that I was thinking of. Let's take a look at the time difference. So like I said, Roaches hit at like 2:55, 3 minutes. And importantly, that lets the command center get up. Remember, if the command center is cancelled, Clem's in a bit more of a desperate position and you have more of a chance to expand behind it. But of course, you'd be on a lower drone count if you're doing that faster version. The follow-up kind of is worse. Really interesting, though, to see. We've got, yeah, about 305, 310 is when two Roaches and a Ravager actually properly get into the natural. GG, well played, though. Good hold for Clem. All right, guys. Reynor in the bottom left side of the map. Clem in the bottom right. Lambo has appeared in our chat while I was testing after that first game and trying out variations and going back to Bly's old optimized proxy hatch that he used to destroy Clem with back in like 2019 and stuff. Lambo said you shouldn't really overthink it. Reynor had no build order. He was just making that up as he went. So really good bit of insight there from Lambo. And I think it makes sense. We decided that either 14 hatchery, 13 pool, or 15 extractor trick. So 15 hatch, 14 pool would be the best way to do it. But you also want to build the hatch really close. And one of your very first Roaches that pops out, don't morph it into a Ravager so you can run in and kill the SCV building. You've got to try to kill that SCV building the command center. Canceling the command center allows you to do that sort of delayed transition and get it out much better. So Reynor's build was a little late on pushing. Obviously, if they SCV scout, you can't really run Zerglings in to kill the SCV on the command center because the Reaper will stay at home and guard the base. So that's kind of unfortunate. But if you don't see a Reaper come across the map, you can build two Zerglings from the hatchery straight away. And that makes it really easy to deny that command center. Anyways, Reynor's going to go hatch pool this time around, guys. Looks like I'm not sure if this was 15-15 or not. Looks like a 15-15 build to me. Yeah, because he was only on 14 drones on minerals for a little bit there. And he's going to go for that extractor. About a minute. Oh, no extractor yet. Oh, he's changed his mind. He had one rallied to the gas, but he's changed his mind. He's going to go for, I think, the 3 hatchery gasless play, and he's going to try and mine open these minerals and go down here. Cyril's been doing that a lot with great success, but it is a very finesse-style build, and the big problem players run into is Reapers circling your base and Hellions running around. On this map, though, if Clem doesn't open those minerals up, he doesn't have a way of doing that. So if Clem doesn't realize that you're going gasless, you can block this front with like 2 or 3 queens pretty early, or even just 2 queens and a few Zerglings. And then you can actually drone up really well. The only Reaper way to jump in is here. Which is, I mean, the Reaper can still be annoying, but it's not going to be anywhere near as bad. But he scouts for it. Clem's aware. He's aware of the threat. I wonder if he immediately sends, like, his 2 SCVs from the natural to mine this mineral open as well. So that he can send Hellions that side. Ooh. Spore Trick has to go down. Good conservative Spore Trick there. You got to be careful, though. You do need high ground vision here, or that Reaper can be a nuisance. Oh, Reynor pulls out of position. Doesn't keep track of the Reaper. This Queen did not move into position to watch that ledge. And Reynor, not as practiced on this map, loses a drone. Great start for Mr. Clem. And if he can deny that base, oh no. Oh, if you can deny the base, the drone turns to fight, realizing, oh, it almost gets bounced to safety, but the Reaper snags it, and now the Reaper's denying the third. Clem has already shut down Reynor's opening super hard. Super hard. Okay, hatchery. Oh my gosh. Guys, there is nothing more dangerous than when Clem realizes you're playing gasless. I've played against him a bunch of times with no ling speed openings, and this Reaper is a menace. We saw him in the same tournament. You guys would have seen the upper bracket match versus Cyril. Oh my lord. What he did in one of those maps with that Reaper. He did it to Lambo the other day as well in the Dumpster Cup, the Hoop Cup. If he realizes you're skipping ling speed, this Reaper is a just ridiculous menace. Like, he will just do ungodly things with it. Some people say they look at the way Clem plays Terran and he must not be a religious man. I disagree. I think this man has a shrine to the Reaper in his house, and he friggin' lights a candle and sacrifices a virgin Zerg player there every night to make sure he gets the boon of the Reaper god. Uh-oh, Hellions getting behind. Drones are exposed. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, this is such a problem, man. Fear the Reaper, man. Hellion driving around. It's a lot of mining time, Evo chamber blocks, not that many actual drone kills, but still frustrating to handle. And you know there's 2 more Hellions arriving at the front. This time though, Reynor does intercept. Does lose a creep tumor though. He's on 36 drones. Can he bounce back from here? Only 1 gas mining. Should be trying to rally down to this third. The gold minerals still have not been opened, which I'm a little surprised by. I thought Clem was going to open those, but I guess he's a bit worried about opening an alternate path to his own base. Oh, he opened the middle, did he? Or did these Hellions just... Wait, what? Am I blind? Oh, he opened up that side, did he? Yeah, he opened up the patch on the right. There we go. It only takes 1 worker trip to mine open the middle, guys. Really nice. Gives him a rotation path, allows him to hit both sides at once. Ling speed now starting up for Reynor. No problem having ling speed late. As long as it's ready by the time the stim medevac arrives. It is a 3cc 2-1-1 opening behind the first 4 Hellions. Double eBay 3rd and 4th gas behind it. With this build, you do delay your 3rd, 4th, and 5th barracks by a very long time. Because you're building those Marines and medevacs so early, trying to get your upgrades started. If you mess up and lose your first 16 Marines with these sorts of builds, it's very bad. This is something I think a lot of low-level players say 2-1-1's bad or 2-1-1's really not good, just because they don't see it as much at pro level. And I don't think it was ever a bad build. It's just always been very reliant on you not throwing your first Marines away. And far too many players at average Joe level, I do it myself with a 2-on-1, just lose their first medevacs and Marines. And when you've only got 2 barracks pumping Marines and the Zerg's already up on 3 or 4 hatcheries pumping Lings, that can get very scary. But you can see, after the first 2 medevacs, you don't need more medevacs. You've already got 2 medevacs for 15 Marines, which is plenty. If you keep building medevacs, it's a really unoptimized build. So Clem's going to float the 3rd barracks over and put that on the reactor while the starport builds a new reactor, and then it can go into constant medevac production for the rest of this game. 4th and 5th barracks starting, just shy of 6 minutes. 8 queens, 30 zerglings. Should be able to shut this down. Reynor has Evo chambers, 6 more drones, and a 4th hatchery in the top left, all coming in. The Marines are going to be a nuisance. The way he pokes in and out, looks for an opening, tries to catch Reynor sleeping. Reynor's very good on his defense. Baneling Nest almost finished. Blair finished up as well. Marines and medevacs coming south. Yeah, it's basically just a... You guys know how, like, the Ewoks use the Stormtroopers' helmets as drums at the end of Return of the Jedi? So basically, yeah, in Clem's Shrine, right? So he has a Reaper helmet with, like, a candle in it. And then he plays the bongos on it and goes, whoa, Reaper Hellion, click good, Reaper Hellion, kill the drone, Reaper Hellion, kill the Protoss, kill the Protoss, kill the Terran, kill the Zerg. That's basically what he does. He does like a weird little bongo song. Extra tribal music comes on. Feels a bit like a psychedelic experience if you're a Terran player watching it. Marine still running around trying to find a drop angle. Spire on this 3rd base location. This is nonsense. Guys, this Spire's terrible idea. It's a good idea versus Clem normally, but not when your 3rd base is like 1 screen from his 3rd base. If you're taking the 3rd and 4th in the corner, I like it, but not with this 3rd base. I think with this 3rd base, maybe if he had a really good start, but remember, he took quite a bit of damage. 5 drones, 14 Zerglings, but also a lot of lost mining time and spore tricks and that sort of stuff. It's going to be really hard to defend. I love this pull down on the rocks. Tank positioning is good. You can put a tank up here behind these rocks. The Marine tank's on the front. Marine tank pushes are really hard to defeat when you're investing in Aspire. Not only that, right now it's 1-1 against 2-2. Armory has finished, which means 2-2 could start up for Clem. He's not prioritizing it though, because right now he's focused on trying to win. Link's trying to squeeze through that tiny hole. Oh my god, he's going to wall it off! Does that wall it off? No, surely you can squeeze around that because of the grass, right? Yes, but it does limit the area. Lings will take that depot down. Very clever idea. I'm pretty sure Clem just thought of that in the moment and said, oh, let's see if that works. Not a bad move. There's Marines over there guarding that approach, which means those Lings really can't flank right now. Clem has nothing guarding his natural. Reynor needs to be morphing Banes up there and busting that natural. Banelings get a connection. Reynor not watching. Clem not watching. Nice move for Reynor. 8 Mutalisks are on the way. He's doing a good job of holding on, but stuck on 69 workers, while Clem, 74 workers with a 4th base on the way. Drilling claws, 2-2 concussive shells. The upgrade advantage will continue. Still 35 seconds until 1-1 kicks in. Reynor so far behind on those upgrades, but he's fighting like a beast to hang on right now. Reynor, one of the greatest Zergs of all time. His mechanical skill, probably the fastest Zerg we've ever seen. One of the few can go toe-to-toe with Clem. But Clem right now has the advantageous position, and Clem is just so tight. He's practicing so much on this patch, whereas there have been big question marks about Reynor's practice regimen, and how much does Diamond League of Legends practice do for your skill level? I know that's what the people... I don't know how much he's actually streaming League of Legends, but that's what I hear from the Twitch chats. Reynor doesn't practice, he just plays League of Legends. I don't think people are true. I think it's good to play different games, have some fun, and chill out. But I know that no one has matched Clem's level of practice over the last few months. Like, Clem grinds more than anyone else, so he's super in tune with this patch. Good spreadies on the Zerglings. Oh, but of course he unburrows. Clem not letting his Widowmines waste their shots at all because his micro is ridiculous. Reynor probably plays more League of Legends than Rogue practices MapleStory. That could be true. But I don't know, man. I've heard Rogue plays MapleStory like 26 hours a day. Marine tank here hanging out. Widowmines coming forward as well. Liberators marching forward as well. Marines, Widowmines, and Libs all sieging up across that front. Massive Marine spready. This is an awful position to engage in. I feel like you just have to give up ground, but what, you're going to lose your natural, your macro hatch. You can't give that up. The Widowmines. Oh, my holy, unholy Widowmine. Sorry, guys, I take it back. He doesn't just have a Reaper Shrine. He has a Widowmine Shrine as well. This man praises the Widowmine, praises the Reaper. That was a 17-kill one, and it does force Reynor back. Reynor desperately trying to hang on, but he's being pushed into an awful position here. It feels like with this sort of map, you need to counterattack earlier. He's trying to flank, but look at that tank Widowmine spread. I don't think he can take care of this tank's Widowmine. Look at those Widowmines. Going into that is a disaster. Lingbane Muta does find the reinforce, though. Great ambush on the reinforcing convoy. Reynor finds a bit of value, but Clem reacts very fast. He's got more Widowmines there in amongst his production to fall back on. Marines coming out, of course, always fixing bayonets and charging into the Banelings. Clem is a mad dog as ever. Marines coming forward, very damaged, but he's focusing the Bane Cocoons down. He's focusing the Bane Cocoons down. Zerglings on their own do not do enough damage, especially not when they're down double upgrades. And Clem cleanses Reynor with a Righteous Fury. If he didn't know that it was gasless, I think this is a genius opening, but you could just tell how aware Clem is of the options. Immediately goes down here with his first Reaper and scouts for it. Like, he says, okay, let's get damage. Goes for the drone, because that's the priority. Gets the drone, and then he circles and finds it and gets the second drone kill. And that's just such a disastrous. Losing 2 drones is terrible in the opening, but also having your third delayed for such a long time. The Queen getting bounced back, delaying it even longer. This is just a huge opening for Clem. And this has been one of the big problems a lot of players are struggling with against Clem, is if he manages to block your third for a while, it's awful. But especially if you're going for like a gasless 3 hatchery, you've already got 2 mineral lines full. You don't really have much else to do with your drones now. Yeah, you can take gases and start some buildings, but the delay on the third, the extra production, that's something you are really leaning into to get an advantage in this game. And Clem's already massively slowed you down. Beautiful game here for Clem. All right, guys. Going to the other series that does end up deciding this group now. So I'm not doing these in any particular order, by the way. I think the matches might have actually been played in the other order. But we can go straight into this one because obviously these are the 2 favorites to get out in second place. The brutal thing about HomeStory Cup groups is there's 6 people in a group and only the top 2 go out. So with Clem dominating that series against Reynor, it's going to be decided by HeroMarine in the bottom right, Reynor in the top left. And this is going to be an interesting match because we've got two players who I think have a pretty casual, more relaxed approach to StarCraft recently. Reynor, when there's big tournaments coming up, super tryhard, does put a lot of practice. He's also trying to be more balanced in his approach where he's more consistent practice over the long term. And even though there's part of me going, oh, it does feel like he's taking a bit of an off season at the moment without tournaments being announced. I still think I don't know if he's still sticking to his 3 hours of practice a day, like 3 hours of really focused practice that he was aiming for every day. If he's taking a month or two off, I think that's healthy as well, right? Reset your brain and just play the odd tournament and a kind of commitment you have to represent your team and that sort of stuff in team leagues. But HeroMarine literally went from just going to the gym every day and getting a bit chunky to over the last year, this man runs on the treadmill. He did his first half marathon, runs on the treadmill for like an hour and a half every day. He is just hitting that cardio, and he's looking skinnier than I've ever seen him. He looks so healthy. His like face has a completely different shape. I think it was at Dallas when I saw him, and I was like, dude, you have a different face that I've never seen. You know, when someone starts hitting that cardio and just like all fat on their face is completely evaporated and across their body. So HeroMarine's gone from like the angriest, most critical Terran player ever, who's so condescending. Some people say, Pig, he's just German. Why do you... Okay, I think it's exaggerated by his Germanness, but let's be honest, he is. But now he's still obviously completely unfiltered, but he's also more relaxed, and I think he cares less as well. He's not as much like, I gotta win. He feels like he just goes in, hits his timing attacks, takes gambles, where he's used to always be about hedging his bets and trying to, assure that he gets to a safe macro game. These days, HeroMarine just kind of does stuff and just sees if it works. And he's not as obsessed with the result. And that's, I think, one of the big things that I've been looking at Reynor to focus more on, because I do think part of his, not downfall, but when he stopped going, from being a world champion, and remember, 3 world championship finals in a row was peak Reynor, guys. 2019, sorry. Yeah, it was 2019, and then the online one in 2020, /2021, and then 2022 when we got back into it as well, where he almost beat Cyril, 1 game away from beating Cyril. Got trounced by Dark in his first one. He wasn't quite ready at that time, but he also dominated this one versus Zest when he did win. So I think for Reynor, not caring too much about the outcome and just kind of flowing with it and just being dedicated to the craft of improving is also the secret for him to get to that next level. But I do feel like as he's gone from such a ridiculous height where he destroys everyone off the cuff with just that amazing creativity and like just mechanically being on another level, more organized. He also revolutionized ZVT openings a lot with split queens and stuff. Feels like a lot of the player base is caught up with those revolutionizations that Reynor made. And for him, he's kind of in this process of making that mental adjustment to basically saying, hey, sometimes I'll lose games and let's not get tilted over it. Whereas I think for a while there, you could actively see if anything went wrong in his games, Reynor would start playing worse. And that's not something you can have as a pro player. Like, the game's not going perfectly and his play would drop. You need your play to either stay exactly the same or level up when you're behind, right? Whereas he was having the opposite happen for a while. So he went from being, we used to call him the comeback kid. Reynor was one of the most famous comeback players where he'd be, like, games would be going terrible. He'd always lose his first game or two in a series and he'd make crazy comebacks. And it went from that to something would go a little awry in a game and he'd actually kind of panic and get a bit stiff in his play. And that's something where I think he had a bit of a mental hurdle that he's been working through. And I think he's gotten a lot better at it over the last 6 months to a year. But, obviously, with questions about his level of practice here, we'll see what he gets done. He did go for Ling Speed into Roach Warren, into Lair, into Second Gas. So I think we're going to see that very safe kind of Roach macro play up against a 3cc Hellion Banshee. This is like about as standard as it gets for Terran. And the Roach opening's pretty good at blocking the Hellions as long as you're well positioned, especially with a few Lings with Ling Speed to help wrap up any Hellions that slip by. And then you just need to worry about the maxed out push, because when you go for the Roach Ravager into Ling Bane, there is a very scary 8 racks where if they go Tech Lab Marauders with their last 3 barracks and they hit with 2-2 at about, usually I want to say about 8.5, 9 minutes, somewhere around there, before you get Vipers, before you get +3 Carapace or Adrenal Glands or any of that. It's kind of like right when your Vipers are popping, the Terran's forcing the fight. And that is a very scary timing. Often Zerg doesn't quite have 1-1 at the same time as them as well, but hats off to Reynor. Evo Chambers, very similarly timed to eBay's. So we'll see exactly what the direction is here. I also wouldn't mind an old 1-1 Roach timing. We don't really see those anymore. especially in the European style. But remember, like Rogue and Dark for like 6 months were just winning games. Maybe not 6 months, 4 or 5 months. Nidus in the main while Roach Ravager floods the third. And we just kept seeing them win with that. And I mean, Whispers of Gold, it's got to be a good map for it, right? Nidus up here would be amazing. Banshee's going down the right side. Roach Speed's coming in. +1 range. Carapace is the more important upgrade. Guys, where's the second Evo? Oh, we cancelled an Evo. Wait, why is he going... Guys, why did he cancel an Evo and why is he going +1 range and no Carapace? What is this? Very interesting opening for Reynor. And when I say interesting, I mean odd. Carapace is by far the more important upgrade. Is Reynor going to try and play Roach Hydra Lurker, perhaps? 5 racks coming up. Third base is there. Slight supply block for HeroMarine, but he came out of it already. He's looking good. Marine count growing. Stim as well. Second Evo now goes down, but delaying Carapace seems like a crazy decision to me. Unless he's expecting mech. But he saw barracks. He sees it with the Overseer. Infestation Pit goes down. That's going to be Detect towards Hive. Trying to get up to 6 casters now, as well as a 4th hatchery. 4th hatchery also feels very late. Feels like Reynor being very conservative in his play here. 9 queens, 12 zerglings. Only now building roaches. Interesting. I guess that it was more of a safety roach warren. If there was a Hellbat timing, he would have committed harder to the roaches earlier. Overseer's going to come in. Reynor is one of the best contamination users in the world. He's looking for that follow-up. Are we going to see 4th command center, 2nd factory? Or do we see 3 more barracks? Armory goes down. It looks like we're just going to see a macro play for HeroMarine. He does have a single tank push coming. Hive starts up now at 7 minutes for Reynor. Carapace is now on the way, but it's such a shame that that Carapace is so far behind the weapons upgrade, especially when you're not even building many roaches. He's now building 16 roaches. Roach speed is ready. Marines and tanks sieging on this location, looking to deny the creep spread. HeroMarine builds 3 more barracks. He doesn't go for the 4th command center. He goes for 3 more barracks. And I think he killed the Overseer. No, the Overseer is sitting right above the upgrades. Contaminate on that right eBay would be amazing, but he doesn't quite get it. Marines dropping in the main. +1 finishes before the Contaminate goes down. He's too busy on the defense. 3 Spore Crawlers were trying to block the drop into the main, and he just avoided them completely. HeroMarine. Oh, he's dancing a little bit. Going to the right, going to the left. At the same time, he's got Hellions trying to do a run by, but the Queens are pretty well responding there, as well as the Zerglings. The Zerglings blocked by the Queens, though. Transfusing drones. Reynor always pulling out the style points maneuvers. 7 drones do go down, mostly to the Marines on this side. The Spore Crawler has repositioned, which is a very good move, though. I like that reposition on those spores to cover that whole main base. That main base is so open to drops, you need to overcompensate. 3 more barracks are here. It's pure Marines. It's an all-in. Reynor sees it. It is an all-in 8 racks. Reynor's building 4 more drones. He's gone to 80. He's already scouting. It doesn't matter. He's already over-droned. He's already gone 20 workers ahead of the Terran. He needs to defend this bush. He should take a 5th up the top, so if he loses his 4th, he can give up ground and take the other hatchery. Yeah, he's going to do that. He's forward on the map, which is really important, but where are his Banelings? He doesn't have any Banelings yet. The Marines might be able to just monster mode this army. Carapace has finally finished. He's going to counterattack, which is actually a really cool move. I like the idea of counterattacking to pull him home. Just try to drop some biles and run away. Anything you can do to pull him back, but you got to get in front of the army to try and force the siege ups. First Viper's on the way. Baneling speed is not here yet. Banelings are morphing. 30 seconds to Bane speed. Reynor needs to fake the fight, but he can't actually take it. Gabe realizes he's got the numbers. The Roach Ravager, a few of them do go down. Only 1 or 2 biles do fall. Roach Ravager cannot fight right now. You cannot fight. Reynor fighting pre-Bane speed. He didn't want to let the siege up get on his base. He takes an awful engagement. HeroMarine shoving in with reckless abandon, but it's the correct reckless abandon. It wasn't even reckless abandon. He scanned. He saw the army wasn't that scary. He saw there was no Bane speed. Just committing to a simple 8 racks at about 9 minutes. Doesn't even have 2-2. Doesn't even have the Marauders that I was talking about. But there is just no answer to this. Reynor going Roach Ravager off Mass Queen. 9 queens into Roach Ravager is already a bit of an awkward way to play Roach Ravager. And then going 86 workers afterwards. I mean, he actually cleans up that army somehow, but oh, here comes the reinforce on the left side. So many drones are going to go down, as will the hatchery, and that's just going to be it. He doesn't have the numbers. Reynor was a mixture of too greedy and not aggressive. I feel like it's okay to be defensive and play safe with the roaches, but 86 workers and going ling speed and 9 queens, there's just too many different things he goes for. If you look at this on just a fundamental analysis level, you're always going to be open to attacks like this unless you get a massive lead in the early game. And I think I would argue that's classic Reynor, is being a bit greedy and then often surviving off the cuff. But if you look at it, guys, check this out. So often when you see people open Roach Ravager, you'll see them skip Ling Speed. It's 100 minerals, 100 gas early, which is a lot of resources put into more economy. They'll often also stop at 5, 6 queens, at most 7, going 9 queens and Ling Speed because he wanted to have the creep control and that sort of stuff. And you'll see Rogue play like this sometimes and then do a surprise 1-1 Roach roll in because he's made it look like he's playing Ling Bane and the Terran's playing Widow Mines and they're not expecting it. But Gabe seemed to realize exactly what was going on, or at least he was just planning to play siege tanks anyway. And I think going, 86 workers and all that sort of stuff, it's hard to defend. If he pulled back and didn't take that fight with the Banelings, I think there's a chance there for Reynor. But the moment he chose to commit before Bane Speed was done, that was always going to be a very, very hard ask. You'll notice when that key fight happened as well, look at the supply. Reynor's like down in supply. And that tells you a lot. If you're playing Roach Ravager and you're down in supply, that's really bad. Like, I don't think he really had a lead in this game to be spoken of. Let's go back to like 5 minutes and check really quickly. His work account's very close. And remember, the queens have been made more expensive. So going 9 queens into roaches is even more expensive now. Not to mention canceling the second Evo was a bit of an odd choice, wasn't it? And going range. It felt a lot like Reynor was making this up as he goes. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't think he practiced much for this tournament. I don't actually know, though. He probably said some stuff on the couch, but I missed all the segments with Reynor on the couch for HomeStory Cup. I'm sure you guys, you watched a lot more of the tournament live when it's not on at 4 a.m. your time. Probably going to be commenting and letting me know. We'll find out. All right, guys. HeroMarine in the top left side of the map. Up 1 game in this series, but now having to play King's Cove. A ridiculously huge map. Reynor in the bottom right. If there was ever a map to play Cyclone Battlecruiser Battle Mech, this has got to be it, right, guys? You have like 400 screens to kite a Zerg army across the map with the Cyclones. Battlecruisers have so much room to fly around the edges. I don't know. Am I crazy for thinking that? You guys let me know in the comments. By the way, we do have a word. If I remember correctly from watching the tournament, Life on End says, Reynor was on vacation and actually was jet-lagged as he got to the tournament, so he wasn't feeling his best form. Interesting to find out. Well, we'll see if he can bring this series back. I still think, Reynor losing map 1 is kind of just par for the course, but I definitely didn't particularly like the opening. It felt like it didn't super match the new changes with the queens. I've seen Lambo and Cyril and a bunch of other guys do a lot more of like 5 queen. Let's just kind of macro up. 15-15 opening for Reynor, which is usually a good opening. It does feel like the spawning pool, 104. I think the minerals on this map mine kind of inefficiently compared to some other maps. You'll find the older we go back in the map pools, the more chaotic the mineral lines are, the less standardized. And like this mineral patch here, I think these mineral patches in general are just way further away than these two on the closer side. Like you can just see how much waiting time there is on these drones. Not that much on that one. This one here, there seems to be a lot. I guess it's like every second or third trip when there's a lot of wait. There's a lot of a big gap there. Yeah, that's what I mean. All right, nice. No gas going down. Reynor, you can wall off this with an Evo and a Roach Horn, play no Ling Speed, take a quick third. What he was attempting to do on El Dorado versus Clem. I actually like this build quite a lot here. Same reasoning, wall off and you're good. Unlike El Dorado, where Clem can just mine open the minerals and come from the other side, there's no option for that. And then you just need to defend this one angle. I talked a bunch. Serena's brother at HomeStory Cup. Nice dude. Baby Marine's a beast. He's a very good Terran player. He's getting very good. Very fast. Much like his older brother, Reynor. I think Baby Marine's probably like... He's like 2 years younger than Reynor. About 20 years old now, I think. Okay, Reaper Grenade comes in. Nice extractor trick. Queen will push back that Reaper. 3 years younger, apparently, so he's only about 19. Guess I would have met him when he was only... I think I met Baby Marine at Valencia the first time, 2022. So that would have been... Yeah, he would have only been like 16, 17 then, I guess. I thought Baby Marine was HeroMarine's kid. No, Johnny. Italians are built different, but I don't think Reynor was capable of popping one out or impregnating at 3 years old. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say probably nah. Like I'm not a doctor. I haven't investigated Reynor's personal biology, And he is a freak of nature when it comes to StarCraft skills. So who knows? Maybe everything else. I'm just hazarding a guess. You know? Do your own research, ladies and gentlemen. Reaper's going to come in. Oh, HeroMarine's kid. Oh, sorry. Yeah, HeroMarine's a few years older. I mean, Gabe seems like a pretty virile guy. He probably could have had a kid when he was like 9. Sure. No worries. Totally. How are we doing, guys? Hellions coming in. Starport. Looks like just another Hellion Banshee opening 3cc. I don't think we'll see an 8 racks on this map. Roachhorn's going to go down. Pretty early Roachhorn, but when you've skipped Ling Speed, I'd actually argue that's a late Roachhorn. But notice how he's only on 5 queens this time. This is a way better build for Reynor than the last one. I like it. Whispers of Gold is always also going to be like the most Terran-favored map in the pool. So part of me is almost surprised that players don't veto it, but I guess it doesn't have as many nasty choke points as like Abyssal. Maybe Reynor didn't want to play with all the ledges on Abyssal that can be abused. Hellions coming across. Banshee, Cloak on the way. And we're going to see another tech lab on that barracks. Second and third barracks will go down in the near future. The question is 6 or 8 Hellions. We'll find out in a moment if that factory lifts off. And the Hellions cannot get up. Yeah, he's trying to click them and he's like, wait a second. You've walled me off. I think you definitely lift that factory now. There is no way into this base. There's no reason to keep building Hellions. I think Hellion opening... Oh my god, he's still building Hellions. HeroMarine's just following a build, isn't he? Oh, he's trying to kill the creep tumor. There's no creep there. There's no creep there. He's trying to spot the creep tumor and hit it with the splash damage. But he thinks it's like here or here. He doesn't know it's there. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. At least he didn't kill his own unit. He just damaged it. I love the attempt to do the stylish maneuver there. Probably let a bit of creep get out here for free on the left side at the same time, though. 4th hatchery got misplaced and cancelled for Reynor. Small mistake, but I love that he's taking that so much earlier this time. And remember, he's got spores in each base. 6 queens, spore in each base, and, of course, the early lair, so we can make an overseer. This Overlord's also survived over here from the Marines. Really hard to stop yourself getting scouted on these maps. There was just angles to come in from every different angle. He wanted to see the gas, but he's going to lose the Overlord for that. A little bit of a mistake. Roach speed starts. Where's the second Evo and where is the carapace? Yeah, roach speed is nice. Guys, 10 Hellions? Oh, he is playing mech. He is playing mech. Oh, it's 3cc into Hellion Banshee. Okay, Hellion Banshee, and then he'll go Cyclone soon. He's going to fly. Oh my god, he's going to try and drive past. HeroMarine, the YOLO of all YOLOs. Oh my lord. Guys, there was 100% a guy with a guitar standing on the front of one of those Hellions, just friggin' playing like Mad Max, like marching them into battle. That was some proper, you know, shiny and chrome. A bunch of Half-Life dudes just sprayed that on their face before they drove. That was an insane move. And Reynor blocked it with ease. OV speed's on the way. Reynor's going to go all in. He's going to do the German taxi. He's going to lift up 2 Overlords with like 7 queens and Overseer and just mass Ravager Ling, Roach Ravager Ling, and just try and kill the mech before it gets going. It's a really good way to kill mech. And I think he just seems to realize exactly what's happening. He did see the fast third gas. Maybe that told him. Or maybe he's just assumed from seeing so many Hellions. I think seeing so many Hellions in of itself told him, make OV speed, let's go for this. He's already got 7 queens coming in those 2 Overlords. The German taxis are loaded up, guys. They go into the Kreffel kebab shop of infamy. The thing that's fed these HomeStory Cup gamers for over a decade now. Evo Chamber's going to go down. Probably want to leave a few roaches here to defend. Reynor, hello? Okay, wow. Finally, it's going to come forward. Evo Chamber goes down. There are tanks building. He's got to keep these tanks on the high ground. If he keeps the tanks up here, I think he can defend. HeroMarine does not seem to realize what's happening. He needs to realize what's happening right now. Get behind that wall off, son. HeroMarine, no idea what's happening. Oh, cool, with his pants down. The roaches are going to jam it. And those tanks are toast. Banshee's like, it's fine, we can defend. And the queens drop out. They say, no, you cannot. 1 queen goes down, but already a Banshee falls. Second one falls. And HeroMarine just taps. He had no idea that was happening. All right, guys. HeroMarine in the top right side of the map. Reynor in the bottom left side down here. It's game 3 to decide who's getting second place in the group. It is going to be Amygdala, a pretty big map. Now, this map plays out really interestingly because drops can kind of fly through the middle and that sort of stuff. But usually you end up with your bases spread on both sides. And if the Terran is good enough to do like multi-prong mine pushing, like I think playing this map against Clem is a disaster. as a Zerg, even though there's more space, like how do you defend both sides against his biomine? It's so hard. Gets HeroMarine. He's not a multitasking god like Clem. I think Reynor should actually be favored fighting on both sides. Like you put up a smaller army on the north and just try and play defensively while a bigger army tries to like wrap up HeroMarine south side. You can also break the rocks and try and sneak through the middle as well with counterattacks. So there's some really interesting things that can happen. Pool first for Reynor on the biggest map on the pool. Now this is actually Reynor saying, you know what, Gabe's a greedy guy. He's not going to scout because it's a big map. He's going to skip the scout, be greedy. So I can go for a bunch of Zerglings, run in, kill the SCV on the command center, and maybe even then build roaches behind it as well. This is something Dark's done a few times on this map, and it's a really bad build on a long rush distance map because it takes so long to get over there. But if you think your Terran opponent will skip the scout because of that same reason, it becomes good again. Sometimes a build that's bad on a map is good on a map because your opponent doesn't think you're going to do it. And look at that, 6 Lings into a Roach Warren, yeah? Yeah, no Roach Warren? Okay, no Roach Warren, he's building the Queen, never mind. He's going to go Queen. He will pull 3 workers onto gas a little bit later, maybe. He might not even pull off minerals onto gas, maybe just pull 1 or 2 off. Let's see, gas finishes, no one's mining gas just yet. And it is just going to be 6 Lings looking for some damage. So HeroMarine, if he builds 2 Marines after the Reaper, he will have an easier time defending this. The Overlord has to see which direction the Reaper goes. I think he naturally goes north and the Lings naturally go south, and the Overlord's going to confirm that. Reaper does see the Overlord. Uh-oh. HeroMarine, don't build a reactor. Make a second Marine, and you react quickly, and you might be okay. But if you don't, you could be in trubs. 2 workers on gas now. Reynor here, moving a Queen to the natural. Second Queen's on the way. Lings are going to come in. Gonna split Lings off for the SCV, surely. Oh, he does split them off a little bit late, but he gets in! He gets in on the Marine. It is a reactor. No second Marine. Good pullback, though. Good micro for HeroMarine. 2 Lings do kill an SCV on the natural. A lot of lost mining time going in here. This is a huge disruption. This massively slows down the third base. He runs the gauntlet past the SCVs. Trades 2 Lings. Doesn't quite get the Marine. Great micro for HeroMarine. Does keep it alive, but he's not building his command center. He starts the third one in the midst of this, which is a really good move. Those 2 Lings doing a lot of damage on that command center. Reaper will come back, though, to defend. Roach Warren goes down now. That's an oddly timed Roach Warren, guys. So, okay, he gets another SCV there. Ling trying to deal with the Reaper. Reaper micro's back. A lot of lost mining time. I feel like this should have been a big advantage, but he's not taking a third, and he's making a Roach Warren and no Ling speed. But why? Is he just going to make 8 roaches and run across the map? He is. He's just going to make 8 roaches. A big commitment. Reynor going for, it's not as early as I'd like. I feel like he could already be moving out with like 5 roaches. And I think hitting earlier and faster is more important. He sees the Reaper going south, so his roaches should try to sneak out the north. The Reaper's going to see that there's no third, though. 7 roaches coming. This is Reynor really leaning into the aggression. I wouldn't have minded him just macroing up behind this, but it feels like he does not want to play a regular macro game here. He wants to catch HeroMarine off, catch him being a bit greedy. Queen well positioned. Reaper runs up, gets a needle to the face, and swiftly turns around. I think Banelings aren't compatible with how evolution works. Well, the way the evolution works is it's all manufactured evolution, right? It's Abathur. It's not really evolution. They call it evolution complete. It's more like intelligent design complete because Abathur customizes all of the Zerg. So the way we think of evolution, you know, is it's actually, yeah, evolution is kind of the wrong word. Spore trick, nicely done. Reaper's in the main. Does he realize what's happening? Gabe's got a bunker on the way, but it's not ready just yet. I mean, he seems to realize with no third base that something's coming. Banshee's on the way, but the Roaches finally arriving. These Roaches took so long to get here. Those Roaches need to do a lot of damage. Queens do push back the Reaper. Hellion's going to try to drive in. He tries to go for a Spore Wall off. He's not going to quite get it. He tries to get a bit of a delay, but I think he should just not be clumping right now. Reynor! Oh, God, he's losing a lot of drones. Roaches running on the other side. They're going to start working this, but how much damage can Gabe do with his Hellions? 3 drones and 4 drones go down. Reaper's still in the main, though. He pulled all of his Queens, and he let the Spores finish. Reynor making massive mistakes. He let his 2 Spore Tricks finish in the main and pulled all of his Queens out. He's doing big damage. The Banshee's taking some biles, but it's not going to die. The SCV's surrounded. They say, taste my drill, you dirty Zerg. Can you imagine it? A whole bunch of construction workers pick up their construction tools and charge into melee and actually destroy the giant Zerg beasts. 7 drones go down. 2 spores is another 2 dead drones. I mean, at least he can use the spores now to defend the Banshee. But Reynor is not playing that well. He's lost 12 SCVs, and I definitely think this is not prime Reynor. You know, I didn't really hear anyone talking about Reynor after this tournament. I wanted to check out these games and see what happened, but it feels like he's just not playing as crisp as we're expecting. In that sort of chaotic, frantic situation, you expect Reynor to defend the main, the natural, and attack well at the same time. That's what multitasking is usually all about. But in this case, it was actually him who started to slip up a little bit, and Gabe really kept pace with him, stayed calm in the chaos, gets another 4 drones for 2 aliens, damage which Reynor cannot afford right now. He's not dead. Like, he did a lot of damage, 12 workers, but with 3 CC dropping mules, double eBay, double barracks, and now Banshees on the map. Not to mention a Reaper with 5 kills, forces another spore trick. The Roaches have to flank him to finally deal with that Reaper. That Reaper did so much. Oof. Banshee's coming down the left side. 1-1 upgrades are started up. Tech Lab on the way as well. I think that's a factory tank setup he's going to be going for. Indeed it is. Yeah, no reactor on that. Banshee's just grabbed 1 drone and chill. Reynor's economy is bleeding. He's in such a bad spot. And now he's going Ling speed. I kind of feel like he should be playing Roaches from behind. Try to play Roaches, get a few Infestors, look for a Fungal, play to Lurker, Viper. You know, like, he's got... I feel like he has to do, like, an alternate style. But going Lings off of the Roach tech you've already got... You've already got 4 Roaches. You've got a Roach Warren. Now we're sideways swapping. That's a luxury that I don't think Reynor can afford. I like this move. Single Evo. Carapace is the most important thing, right? It's by far the most important upgrade, Carapace. So I like that he's going to be going just single Evo for now. He can't afford double, and trying to get himself to a position. 3 mineral lines now full of workers. Take a 4th base as soon as possible. Secure that 4th. Get your Carapace and try to hang on. I also think when you're miles behind... Yeah, no. He's going Roach. He's doing his normal transition. I really feel like when you're way behind, going Roach, Ravager, Ling Bane... I already mentioned in Whispers how it always leaves you a little open. Overseer cannot hide in that dead space, guys. By the way, look at this. They've got the little floating thing from the Heart of the Swarm mission. These are the little bases that shoot like missile lasers and stuff at you. You got to kill them with your battle cruisers in that Hyperion mission in the Heart of the Swarm campaign. That's cool. Yeah, I always feel like this build has an opening. And it's going to be even more open to a big Marine tank push because we're going Roaches and Lingbane at the same time and Hive. And I knowing him, he's going to go Vipers. I think Infestors give you good ambush capabilities. You can take advantage of it, 1 or 2 mistakes. Catch his army when HeroMarine shoves like he did in Game 1 on Whispers. You can catch him 8 racks. 8 racks again. Of course, HeroMarine's 8 racksing. This is where Fungal would be so big. But Baneling speed, at least it should be ready for the 8 racks this time. So maybe he can take a better fight, but only on 66 drones, down 26 supply. I just don't see it happening. I think if he went Roach Infestor, maybe. If he went just pure Lingbane Infestor, maybe. But going both, oh, it's going to be hard. And he's only now building an Infestor. This is going to be so tough. I mean, you have to make magic happen right now as Reynor. HeroMarine just needs to not screw up. He just needs to lean onto his opponent. Got +2 weapons, +1 vehicle weapons, +2 armor on the way. And he's just going to go 8 racks Marine tank all in. How many tanks has he got? 3 tanks. Doesn't even have a 4th one building right now. There we go. 4th one starts up. He's already got 4 medevacs, 2 more on the way. And there's no... Oh, this gold base is this gold base is literally indefensible even when you're doing well in a game. I guess he thinks Ravagers can defend it. There's no way you can defend the workers because a single tank back there just denies it mining. This base over here is much more viable. Going to try and go Ultras. Oh, one Infestor, Roach, Ravager, Lingbane into Ultra. I do love Ultras in general, and Ultras with kindness do wreck Marines. But right now, the Marines are coming forward. The tanks are building. It's only a matter of time until HeroMarine moves that entire army across the map. That's the Fungal I was talking about, but he's only got 1, which means it wears off, and HeroMarine just picks up and flies away, and that's why you need 3 or 4 Infestors to make these sort of ambushes really worth it. At least it will make HeroMarine play a little bit safer now, right? He's got to play more carefully. But the supply lead is monumental. Reynor's on 69 army supply against 123. He's got +2 Carapace and Kindness Plating starting. Give him 2.5 minutes. He's going to have a really good army to counter Marines. But I don't think he has 2.5 minutes. Gabe is max. Big Gabe is coming with a big army right now. A little bit dangerous having so many Marines clumped up. Go drop the main, though, and what can you do to stop that? 4 medevacs of Marines are going to rotate around. Marine tank on the front, by the way, going to break these rocks. Did you just stim to kill the rocks? Not something you see every day, feeling the urgency. Medevac's going to drop in the main. I don't think there's enough links to defend the 1-1 Marines. Remember, there's no +1 melee just yet. Roach Ravager Bane has to come into the main to defend, but at the front, the drones have to evacuate. Gabe not giving him any time to get situated. The Infested does not have another fungal. The Marine tank sieging on top of the Evo chambers. +2 carapace is denied. +1 melee as well. You are kidding me. Both of his upgrades getting denied. The Ultra does not have kindness plating. The Evo chamber does survive. Melee will finish, but at what cost? He's got to engage with his army to save it. The Ravagerling Bane comes out. The Ultra pops, but it goes down so quickly. The mass Marine tank trying to defend. One tank will get biled down. No, it survives. Tanks 2 biles, doesn't take the third one. And Reynor just cannot hang on. Too good of an early game for HeroMarine. It did too much counter damage while defending the Roaches with a lovely surround at the same time. HeroMarine survives Reynor's aggression despite getting caught a little off guard by both waves and does win the series 2-1 and takes second place into the playoff bracket of HomeStory Cup.